there isn't any question that it's had a startling success in Massachusetts, given the fact that Massachusetts passed a very modest and very bad no-fault bill. They had very low thresholds. That is, they don't provide much benefits, only about $2,000 worth of benefits, and you can pursue your fault claim. You can sue the other driver based on fault if your medical expenses go above $500. Well, those are much too low as criteria. Even so, the Massachusetts figures are startlingly effective in the sense that claims costs are way down and claim frequency is way down. Well, you can say, well, that means that fewer people are being paid and fewer claims are being made. That's right, in the trivial, unimportant cases, which is just what we ought to do. You see, we're being strangled to death with the present auto insurance system by these minor, trivial claims, which are chewing up our insurance premiums, chewing up our court time, chewing up our legal talent, chewing up our judicial talent. So the Massachusetts system has, despite its very low limits, been a very real success. The insurance industry certainly is very pleased with it, and although what is good for the insurance industry isn't necessarily good for the consumer, in this instance, I think their optimism on how it's working makes sense. Recently, too, we've had very good reports from Florida. Their system has been in effect since January 1, and their system, which is very similar to Massachusetts, not good enough, but a lot better than the present system, is also working well.
Professor O'Connell, of course, much of the criticism of your plan and other no-fault plans, as you know, has been in the area of pain and suffering, or loss of the use of an arm, or you can't play golf again,
sure,
or whatever.
Well, there's no question that people do suffer pain after auto accidents, especially if they're egregiously or terribly injured. The trouble with it is, though, that under the present system, it's so cumbersome and difficult to decide whether money should be paid that the person with a very small claim has a nuisance value to his claim. It costs the insurance company on the average about $800 to battle through and win a case. So if a person has, let's say, $100 worth of out-of-pocket loss, he's in a position to say to the insurance company, pay me $400, even though I didn't suffer much pain, and even though, in fact, I may not be entitled to be paid, because it's going to cost you $800 to beat me. So you save money by paying me $400 or $500. And in fact, that's what happens. The trivial injury is overpaid. People who suffer pain the least get the most for it. And conversely, what happens is that people who suffer pain the most get the least.
Professor O'Connell, of course, it was 1965 when you and Professor Keaton wrote Basic Protection for the Traffic Victim, 66 when it was published. And now, not many years later, President Nixon has just sent a telegram to the Governor's Conference in Houston urging that a no-fault plan be passed in all the states.
Yes.
Your idea's traveled a long way in the past few years. Do you think it's going to get there? Do you think all the states will see a no-fault plan?
Yes, I will, although I must say it's been a long, hard struggle. I think, frankly, if I'd known it was going to take this long, I'd taken up world peace or some easy topic. Trying to get insurance reform, when you take on a substantial segment of the insurance industry and you take on the trial bar, means a long, slow struggle. The trial bar is very powerful, they're very effective, they're very convincing. I happen to think on this issue they're very wrong. I think time is going to prove that they're very wrong, and we will get reform. But frankly, I must say, although I started out with a view that the states could do it, I would be very happy to see the federal government do it now. I think the states have had long enough. If they want to do it, if Texas would pass a good no-fault bill, I'd be delighted. But I'm very skeptical the states are going to do it. I'm inclined to think, although I've changed my mind on this, I used to think the states could do it. I think we're going to have to get a federal bill.